Hey there everybody, Aaron here. Welcome to another episode of Gideon's Tactical. Today I'm really excited because we get to do the full field test and review for you on the Tops Knives Shango designed by Joe Flowers. I've had a chance to really get out here, use this thing multiple times on different backpacking and hiking trips, as well as just carrying EDC around town, using it to, cut open kiwis. You're going to see that here in just a minute. Packaging, rope, all sorts of different stuff, as well as bushcraft and, outdoor tasks. So we're going to see today whether or not this stainless steel 440C stainless steel knife, because there's a lot of neck knives out there that are high carbon, but pretty few that are stainless steel. And so I'm really glad that this is a stainless steel model that we can really test out today for particularly those of you in maybe humid environments who are looking for something that's really rust resistant. 440C is great at that. So we're gonna get out here today. You'll obviously get the basic specs real quick, and then you'll be able to see the ins and outs of this thing being put to the test through all sorts of different tasks. And at the end of the video, we'll find out whether or not the Shango, designed by Joe Flowers, that we all know Joe can definitely be a guy who can design some fantastic blades. So we'll see if this one holds up to his name, Joe Flowers, and if it's worthy of his name, or if it falls a little short. We'll have to stick around and you'll have to see at the end of the video my overall opinion on the Tops Shango. So let's get some basic specs out there for you and begin to use this blade. All right, we're here today on a nice autumn hike, and I'm carrying the Shango with me, so I'll give you guys the basic specs here real fast, and then we'll talk about the handle and get into showing you the blade in action. But the overall length from back to front is 6.5 inches long. It weighs in just by itself, without the sheath, without the paracord, at 2.4 ounces, so very lightweight little blade. And then obviously a little bit more with the sheath and a little bit more with the paracord wrap I have on there. Full contain construction. It is 5/32 of an inch thick, made out of 440C with that gray coating on there, and the cutting edge itself is 2.75 inches long. So those are just real fast basic specs for you guys here on this little Shango. Now let's go ahead, take a look here at the handle with it skeletonized, and then with the paracord wrap, and then we'll get into using this thing, and you can see the blade itself in action. Alright, so here's the knife in the skeletonized form as it comes to you in the package. It has this nice big slit here, as well as 3 different lashing points. It's not very comfortable as it sits right now. I have large size gloves, you can see there. My pinky is definitely be able to get there on the back and still be on the front there with my index finger, but it's just not very comfortable. So we're definitely going to run some paracord through here in just a moment, and we'll cut back and show you what I've done with the paracord. Something to note as well, though, is that when you click in the Kydex, this front hole right here is covered by the Kydex. So we're going to have to try and figure out what we're going to do with the paracord, if I have to start back here along the runner, or if you maybe need to grind down your Kydex a little bit so that you can gain access to that hole and be able to still put it inside the sheath. So let me cut away, I'm going to play with it, and we'll come back here in just a second and show you what I've come up with. Alright guys, here we go. This is the paracord wrap that I came up with. I was able to have some gray on hand, so I got gray on gray, which is really cool looking. And this is a very simple, easy knife to be able to paracord wrap. I'm pretty new to paracord wrapping, but with the 3 holes as well as the slit all the way down the middle, makes it very easy for you to get a really good paracord wrap on there. I soaked the paracord so that it would have a lot of stretch, and I could really cinch down tight each wrap that I did as I looped it around. But a very simple setup, and what's fantastic is that I didn't have to do any modding with that front hole over the Kydex. Clicks in real nice, no problem there. Zero rattle on the Kydex, and I can still easily push off and remove the knife. So that's a really nice setup right there with the paracord wrap. And the overall ergonomics I'm going to give on this item is going to be a 3 out of 5, because there is no option for handle scales right now. Maybe in the future, what would be awesome after this video and maybe some more popularity with the Shango would be if Tops gave us the option to just purchase Mike Carter G10 handle scales as a secondary option, and then they come with screws and we could put them straight through the holes that they already have pre-existing. Would really launch this from a 3 out of 5 on the ergonomics to a 5 out of 5 in my opinion. Right now, 3 out of 5 because it is still skeletonized and just has a handle wrap. Something like an Essie Azula, this is the original, I'm just going to roll it in there, even though it has actually a shorter handle, with these handle scales, these G10 handle scales that they offer for purchase, I would say a 4 out of 5 on the ergonomics. It just feels a lot better, a lot thicker in my hand, fills it out really well. And then something like an Izula 2 or say like a BK14 with those handle scales, I would give a 5 out of 5 in this kind of neck knife range of being, you know, ergonomics 5 out of 5 for SE Izula 2 or a BK14. The Izula would be a 4. This one would be a 3. So not at all bad, and you're definitely going to be able to get a really good grip even with my large size hands, large size glove hands. And you can obviously do a lanyard, kind of like what I've done for a secondary grip. If you so desire, just kind of fill out your hand even a little bit more. Very easy to do that. So not bad at all for a skeletonized knife that does not give you the option of handle scales. The Shango will definitely get the job done and fill your hand out even if you have larger size hands. So ergonomics, 3 out of 5. Hopefully in the future tops you'll give us a handle scale option, and that would, I think, would launch it to a 5 out of 5 on the ergonomics. All right guys, let's go ahead and talk about the blade itself here on the Shango. Like we said in the specs, you're getting that 2.75 inch cutting edge, which is great, similar to almost all other neck knives out there, SE Izulas and, you know, lots of other knives out there. That's about what you're going to be getting, so that's a great size, and the blade design is really nice. I like that unsharpened swedge for stabbing that we'll see here in a moment, the stabbing capability. But what I got to say overall is, starting out with Kiwis, you know, I put it up against a Kiwi first to just kind of test the factory edge. It's a really good fruit to test out blade edges with, and what I found was that it does a good job out of the box, but it had a pretty wide grind angle, so it had about 20 or 25 degrees, and for a neck knife I think that's a little wide. So I brought it down after using the Kiwis and going through the Kiwis. I brought it down to 15 degrees, so I profiled the edge a little bit from about 20 or 25 down to 15, and then it was fantastic. It did everything that I wanted to with flying colors, from you know, cardboard cutting. Did a great job going through cardboard for a neck knife. Now it is 5/32 thick, so you know, it's not the thinnest blade, but for, you know, a neck knife fixed blade, it did cardboard cutting without any sort of problem compared to other neck knives of its similar size and, you know, thickness, like the SE Izula. I'm just going to kind of compare it a lot to that knife throughout this review, because that's my kind of go-to neck knife up to this point before I got the Shango. So cardboard, no problem. Paracord nylon rope, fantastic, with that really good belly and sweep up. It was able to fly right through all the nylon rope I threw against it, fantastic. And then finally bushcraft, guys, of any kind, any sort of woodcraft whatsoever. Feather stick making, awesome. Made really nice fine shavings, just as well as my SE Izula. Did a great job, and was able to do that with flying colors, making notches, you know, for say like a tent peg, you know, if you had to do that, or, you know, for a figure 4 snare, you know, that type of stuff. Very easy to do with the Shango. Thumb push cuts, even reverse chest pulls, anything you throw at it. I mean, this was just, it just flew through wood, particularly with that modified 15-degree grind angle, the same modified grind angle that I put on my SE Izula, by the way. So I don't think that you having to modify the edge is some sort of ding. It is not. You have to do that with most neck knives because they do have that wider grind angle. So with that being said, guys, regardless of what type of material it is, if it is EDC around town or out in the bush and you're doing wilderness tasks, I gotta say the Shango did a fantastic job. And for the quality of the item that you're purchasing, not only the blade itself but also everything else you're getting, you know, the sheath and all the other items we're going to be looking at here today, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 on our scale, on our rating scale over here of quality. The quality on this item is 5 out of 5. I really like the 440C as well. I've used it on a couple other Tops knives, and it holds an edge longer than 1095, and the 440C they're using is easy to resharpen as well. So there aren't any complaints for me with 440C, and particularly some of you who are in really humid environments who are looking for maybe a more rust resistant blade. I think that you will really like the 440C that you're getting with this Shango, and the fact that it wasn't made out of stainless, but out of high carbon, but it was made with stainless, so it's going to be really rust resistant, hold a longer edge than 1095 will, and just perform really nicely for all sorts of bushcraft as well as EDC tasks. So the Shango has a really nice deep harpoon kind of design, clip point, that makes it a fantastic little stabber. I'm really able to get a good lockup with that deep finger groove right here, nice jimping, and then my paracord wrap that I did makes it very secure, and I can absolutely get a really good stab if I need to get into some wood, or I am using it in a little, you know, as a little self-defense tool. I could absolutely, last ditch knife, use it in that capacity, and it would definitely hold up well. And I would say a better stabber than most of the other, you know, smaller neck knives like this, like the Izula and the BK14. This one is definitely going to have a better tip for stabbing capability, if that's what you're looking for with the Shango. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look here at the sheath. You have a loop over Kydex sheath. I love Kydex. It's really good. Nice and slim as well, so you can carry it as a neck knife. Now, there It's a slight rattle when you shake it, but you can see it's not coming out, you know, carrying it upside down. The blade does move. That rattle is just because the blade moves slightly up and down in the sheath, you can see there. But they give you a nice little thumb ramp that you can easily pull the blade out, deploy it, click it back into place, really nice and secure. So that's really nice, as well as with these holes, they give you all sorts of different lashing options. You know, you can mess with a BLADEHQ lock, a molly lock, you can do all sorts of different stuff like that, as well as, you know, leather loop overs to carry it, you know, inside the waistband type of thing. As well as they give you not only a carabiner that lines up with this upper eyelet so that you can carry it either on your belt or belt loop, you know, so you can kind of carry more of an EDC close to your waist type of design, or you can, you know, just carabiner it to, you know, your shoulder pack on your backpack, you know, one of the shoulder pads. You could just clip it inside your bag, you know, that you're carrying, so you know right where it's at. You know, you don't have to dig around for it. As well as they give you a ball and chain necklace, so you can carry it as a neck knife how it was originally designed. So you can carry it all sorts of different ways. That chain works really well. You can carry it in, you know, obviously out, just around, or you can put it inside your shirt, and it's a very small, slim profile with that really nice thin kydex. And they do give you a little drainage hole as well. So if you're going to ask me the rating for this sheath, the carry option rating, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I have 0 complaints. It holds the knife really well. It's kydex, and, you know, they give you lots of different carry options, and there's 0 complaints that I have with it, and one of the better for a neck knife sheaths on the market. So 5 out of 5 on the sheath rating for the Shango. Okay, here's the Shango notch that they give you on the back of the handle of the Shango. I recommend using it in the sheath so you don't accidentally cut yourself, but that's uncoated there. So it's supposed to be able to easily throw sparks with your ferrule rod that they give you. So we got some feather sticks and a little cotton ball, untreated. And we're going to give it a shot here. There we go. See there, real nice and quick. It's going to get that whole piece of wood burning real fast. So that's a simple way to get your fire going with the Shango notch on the Shango. Okay guys, I want to talk about the value here real quick for you. I'm going to give the value rating on this knife and this whole setup that you see in front of you. I'm going to give it a rating of 3 out of 5. And the reason for that is that you're going to pay about $70 for what you see in front of you. Everything. You're going to get the knife, you're going to get the sheath, and then you're going to get these other items. You're going to get the ball and chain, the carabiner. You're going to get Topps 2-in-1 magnesium and ferrule rod system. You're going to get a Lansky quick fix pocket sharpener, which, you know, it does the job. It's not mind-blowing or anything like that. If you're out in the field, it's sure better than trying to sharpen, you know, your knife on a rock. But, you know, there's a lot better options out there. They give you a little can opener that you can also use to strike the ferrule rod along with the Shango notch. And then they give you a little Topps whistle. So you get all that you see in front of you for about 70 bucks. And the only thing that I could find that's kind of similar for price point would be the Izula 2 survival kit, which will run you about $70, $71. Very similar in price to everything you see here. You get the very similar things. You get a little ferrule rod, you get a whistle with it, you get some paracord, you know, you get some different little knickknacks basically if you buy the Izula 2 survival kit for right around the same price point, but you get my Carta handle scales included for your Izula. There are no handle scales for your Shango right now that is offered. So that's why I'm going to knock it 2 points and say a value rating of 3 out of 5 over here at Gideon's Tactical. You know, it's still a fantastic setup. You know, it'd be great even if they, just like the Izula 2 setup, you know, you can either get the survival kit and pay about $10 or $15 more, or you can just get the Izula 2 with just the micarta handle scales for right around $61. I'd love to see that as an option from Topps of you can just buy, say, the ball and chain, the knife, and the sheath for a little less money, and then if you want to upgrade and get the fire steel and get the whistle and all those other things, then you can do that as well. So that's my value rating, guys. 3 out of 5. Not bad, but you might get a little bang for your buck with some other knives out there that have very similar setups to what you see here. All right, everybody, so you've seen the Shango in action, and I got to tell you, I've had my eye on this for almost a year at least, and I love my Shango XL so much, and I'm really glad I was able to get my hands on this, and now it's in the collection, because I'm going to tell you guys, my likability on a 0 out of 5 is 5 out of 5. This is a fantastic neck knife. I love all the options that it gives you. I love the fact that it's got that Shango notch right there, so I can throw sparks. You know, a lot of other, to my knowledge actually, all other neck knives that I'm aware of, you have to modify the spine somehow to throw sparks. This one you do not have to, and it comes with, you know, the Topps magnesium and ferro rod, so I'm able to start a fire with this thing if I need to. And it's just an all-in-one kit, and I love the 440C, so I don't have to maintain it as often with touching it up, and the rust resistance is fantastic, as well as just the shape. I love the harpoon kind of blade design shape there, and just everything going for it. Fills out my hand really well. You know, no complaints there. And I'm not a huge fan, if you know anything about me, I'm not a huge fan of paracord wrap knives usually, but this one just fills out my hand well, and I just love it. The likability scale is absolutely there, 5 out of 5. And I think I said it once or twice throughout this video, but maybe in the future what would be awesome is if Tops would give us the option to purchase aftermarket handle scales like you can for a lot of other knives like the BK14 and the SE Azula and Azula 2. You can get aftermarket G10 or micarta handle scales. If they did that with this option, it would make it an even more amazing knife, from a 5 out of 5 to like a 6 out of 6 or something. I don't know. But I mean, it would just make this thing even head and tails above almost any other, you know, smaller sub 3-inch neck knife. I mean, it would blow it out of the water. As it stands right now, guys, 5 out of 5 here on the likability scale. I really hope that this video here at Gideon's Tactical and Field Test has really showed you the ins and outs of this knife and helped you make a purchasing decision on whether or not the Tops Shango is going to be worth a purchase for you. Thank you so much for watching this particular episode of Gideon's Tactical. Please subscribe, comment, like the videos, share the videos, and check out our Facebook page. You can find it on the YouTube homepage of Gideon's Tactical. Like our Facebook page, where you'll get updates of upcoming videos, you'll get photos, as well as upcoming gear, new gear releases, you know, that products and companies that are released, as well as behind the scenes footage and bloopers that you'll never see make it to YouTube. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.